Hey, how y'all doing? This is Bre'Anna, and this is the Divine Intervention Podcast. This isn't necessarily an episode, but I did decide that I was sick and tired of being too scared to actually prop a camera up and talk in front of a camera. And so this is a little snippet, me explaining the I'm Good, I Promise episode series. It's a series that I'm actually really excited about. It was birthed from... because every episode for me is created from an experience. It's created from a realization. It's created from a thought, a journal entry, a therapy conversation. It's created from moments where I realized that there was something that I was doing, a system that I inherited, a pattern that I picked up, or just something that I realized that I either wanted to learn how to do or I realized I didn't want to do anymore. And so the series I'm Good, I Promise is basically an outline talking about how I've always had this internal battle of being a good person. And I think a lot of times the words good person gets tossed around and we hear these adjectives, these words, kind, just, nice. You hear all of these things, but I think we're not often taught about the nuance in situations where your decisions are not chosen based off of them being right. It's chosen based off of your intuition, your discernment, your heart, how you feel. When the choice that you ultimately decide is based off of you trusting yourself, especially when, me personally, I can speak for myself, when it's a muscle that you're not really frequently allowed to use. I think that I hear words like discernment a lot, but I don't really hear people talk about how do you actually lean into discernment? How do you use discernment? How do you make a decision when the answer isn't clear? And in this episode series, it's a lot of me just talking about where this idea of being a good person, where my initial roots of what I thought good to be, where it came from, because I'm really big on a lot of ways that we think they're inherited systems. You're getting these things passed down, and I think a lot of times, especially when you're operating in systems, you don't really think about what you're inheriting. You kind of just get it. And then for a lot of people, it's just what's set in stone. You don't question it. You don't rock back and say, well, hey, is this thing actually benefiting us? Was this something that was created at a time when it was needed, but it's not really needed anymore? What is my definition of this thing? What is this thing for me? What does that look like in my life? And really just me taking the space to discuss a lot of realizations I had about this idea of being a good person, this internal battle of, let me find the words, this internal battle of figuring out, even in situations where there's a lot of nuance, or even when you just make a bad call, how do you remain grounded in yourself? How do you not allow your decision to consume you or to define you? How do you learn how to move forward? And so that's a lot of what I'm going to discuss in this series. I'm really excited to talk about it. If you would like to be featured in an episode, drop a comment. I'm actually really looking for people who would like to be guests, because when anybody has something to say, a lot of this podcast is really just me talking about personal experience and weaving it into identity and who you are. Specifically, if you're somebody who has read All About Love by Bell Hooks and you want to have a conversation about it on the podcast, feel free to inbox me. I'm super excited because I finished the book. Along with another book I finished, it's a series. I'll drop that down below as well. And if you've read it and you want to have some discussions about it and have it uploaded on the podcast, just reach out to me. Thank you so much. This is the Divine Intervention Podcast, where I try my best to make space and learn how to take up that space. Have a nice one, y'all.